Welcome. You have Akshay and Deepak here from Shining Star Funding, and today we wanted to cover one of our favorite programs for first-time home buyers, the CalHFA MyHome. This program can essentially be used to cover the full down payment portion for prospective buyers. In this presentation today, we are going to cover some of the features, highlights, and most importantly, a case study for the program that will run through purchase and various other scenarios, refinance, sale, and exactly how to use the program funds. Let's go ahead and get started. The MyHome Assistance Program is a deferred payment, simple interest subordinate loan which will provide up to 3.5% of purchase price. There are no monthly payments on the MyHome loan, and when it comes time to repay the loan, we'll go over some of the circumstances when this will need to be repaid. Repayment will be the principal amount plus 1% simple interest per year. The first mortgage is available as a conventional loan, an FHA loan, VA loan, or USDA. The CalHFA MyHome program can be used to pay for the entire down payment or a combination of closing costs or down payment or the closing costs. If the program is used to pay for the down payment, then the closing costs can come from the borrower, or they can come via seller credits, or the CalHFA Zero Interest Program, the ZIP program, can be added, which will provide up to 3% of the first mortgage loan amount to help pay for closing costs.
Let's go over some of the features of the program. The program offers seamless underwriting, and you just make one application for your down payment assistance. The application covers your primary loan along with down payment assistance, and the application does not take any longer than any normal loan, so we can close these loans within the 30-day time frame. Unlike other programs, borrowers do not get hit for additional pricing hits for lower credit scores. The down payment assistance loans can be paired with additional borrower funds, meaning in a conventional loan, if you want to bring in additional funds to avoid mortgage insurance, you can do that. There is no mortgage insurance if you're bringing in 20% down payment, getting 17% of your own funds, and adding 3% from the down payment assistance for a conventional loan. There is no equity sharing. The equity is 100% for the borrowers to keep, and you're not sharing, unlike other programs for down payment assistance. Let's talk about the repayment of the down payment assistance. This loan is repayable at the end of 30 years, or at the time of sale of your home, or when you refinance your home. This is available only to first-time home buyers. Borrowers have to be first-time home buyers with no ownership in a principal residence or resided in the home owned by a spouse during the previous 3 years. If you did own a home, like a rental property, and have not lived in the home for the last 3 years, you're still considered a first-time home buyer. Let's cover some eligibility criteria for this program. A minimum 640 credit score is required. The debt-to-income ratios can go all the way to 50% based on credit scores. This is for owner-occupied properties only. The loan limits need to be below the high balance county limits. Income limits apply. This is for one-unit properties, condos, townhomes, and PUDs. It is for first-time homebuyers only. And this loan can be combined with temporary buy-downs of 2-1, 1-1, and 1-0 buy-downs. Here are the income limits applicable to this program. The income limits are based on the county you're going to be purchasing in and the combined borrower's income on the loan. They are not based on household income. Borrowers with less than 80% area median income get preferential interest rates and preferential mortgage insurance. You can refer to our website shiningstarfunding.com/myhome to review the lower income limits. Here are the loan limits for the first mortgage. Cross-reference the county where you will be purchasing the property.
Now we're going to go through a case study for the program where we'll go through an actual purchase example. We'll go through an example comparing the 3% MyHome program to a 20% down payment, and we'll go through two scenarios where the homeowner will refinance the house or they sell the home. In this example, we're going to go through a purchase. Our borrower is purchasing a single-family home in Sacramento County. The purchase price is $700,000 and the loan amount is $679,000. The down payment assistance portion in this case, because it's a conventional loan, was 3%, and that full 3%, which is $21,000, was used towards the down payment. The borrowers can bring in additional down payment if they want, but in this case, we've kept it to the minimum 3% that's required, and that full 3% is coming from the MyHome Down Payment Assistance Program. So what's left is the cash to close. Now, the cash to close can come from the borrowers directly or seller credits. If the seller credits, for example, if the seller provides 3% in credits towards closing costs, the borrower could potentially close this $700,000 purchase with about $5,000 to $7,000, which represents the balance of the closing costs not covered by the seller credit. Or just as a general rule of thumb, if there's no seller credits and the borrower is coming in with the full down payment or the full closing costs themselves, they can expect to pay about 3.5% to 4% of the purchase price as part of closing costs. There will be mortgage insurance since the loan is at 97% loan to value, which means that only 3% down payment. And the mortgage insurance is dependent on several factors such as the credit score, loan to value, and the DTI. Now that we've covered how a purchase will be structured where the borrower does not have to come in with any down payment at all, let's further that example and put some numbers to it where we're doing the purchase with the 3% MyHome program. And let's compare that to an instance where the borrower would bring in the full 20% towards down payment out of pocket. So if the borrower brings in 20% down out of pocket, their total monthly payment would be, in this scenario, would be $4,556. Now, obviously, with the MyHome program, our borrower is not bringing in any down payment themselves. They're using the program for the down payment, and the program is only providing 3%. So the loan amount is a lot higher. There is mortgage insurance as noted over here. And as such, the mortgage payment is going to be $5,590. That mortgage payment can be further reduced if we use temporary buy downs. In this case, we have used an example where we have a 2-1 temporary buy down. The seller has provided some credits to fund the temporary buy down in the amount of approximately $15,500. In that case, what's going to happen is the borrower's first year payment is going to be $4,700 per month. That's pretty close to the 20% down payment we'd gone over before. The second year payment will be about $5,100 per month. And then in the third year, their payment will go to the actual their actual payment, which is approximately $5,600. Now we're gonna cover a refinance scenario in the third year, and we'll go through how to get that payment down from third year beyond. So let's say we did use the temporary buy down. Our borrower has enjoyed lower payments in both the first year and the second year. The third year, their payment has gone back to the original payment on the note, which is $5,590. Our expectation generally is that in 12 to 24 months, the rates are going to start softening up. So we will see a refinance period. In that case, this is how that's going to work. This scenario covers a refinance after 3 years. Before refinance, we've gone over all these calculations before, but just to touch on them again, the payment was $5,600 approximately. In 3 years, the home value has gone from $700,000 to $800,000, and the current loan amount is $657,000. This loan amount started at $679. It's at $657 now because the borrower has been making payments every month and the principal has gone down. If we calculate the loan to value with the new home value, it's about 82%. So how is the refinance going to work? because earlier we covered that the borrower has to pay back the 3% in MyHome funds that they borrowed. Do they have to come out of pocket? No. So what happens is that we're going to set up this loan at a new loan amount of $678,000 approximately, which is going to make the loan to value 85%. And because we're lowering the interest rate as well, in this case we've used assumed an interest rate after 3 years of 5.75%. The new payment will become $4,800 approximately $50. This payment is pretty close to the 20% payment that we had looked at before, and pretty close to their year 1 and year 2 payments with the temporary buy down. So the payment, they can kind of leverage this refinance to keep their payments pretty consistent year after year, along with the temporary buy downs. Now the MyHome will be paid back. It is going to be paid back through the equity, and the numbers are as follows. So we borrowed $21,000 in principal for the down payment. That will be paid back, along with 1% simple interest per year. So what does that mean? 1% simple interest on $21,000 per year is $210. So since we're refinancing in 3 years, $210 per year times 3, $630 additional dollars. That's very, very nominal rate of interest. So the total payback is going to be $21,630, which is going to be paid back via the equity. The borrower will not have to bring in their own funds to pay off the MyHome loan. Lastly, let's cover a scenario where instead of refinancing in 3 years, the borrower actually decides to sell their home in 3 years. We're going to use the same numbers. The home value is $800,000. The loan amount, as we went over in the last slide, is $657,000. So the home price appreciation is $100,000. We purchased for $700,000. We're selling for $800,000. The numbers for the MyHome loan payback are exactly the same. So $21,000 borrowed, $21,000 paid back, plus that 1% simple interest per year, which equals $630 in 3 years. So they would get $21,630 back. Our homeowner proceeds are calculated as follows. They're going to get back the principal payments they made over the last 3 years, which is about $22,000, and the appreciation net of the MyHome payback, which is approximately $99,000. That totals about $121,000. I do want to note that this is prior to any real estate transaction costs. So basically, to summarize, in this scenario, the borrower purchased a $700,000 home with seller credits of 3% to help pay for closing costs, with out-of-pocket cash of about $5,000 to $7,000. And when they sell the home, they are going to be taking home additional cash that they can roll into their next property. So as you can see, this program is great for first-time home buyers who meet all the eligibility requirements. So please head to our website, shiningstarfunding.com/myhome, to refresh yourself on all the requirements and for next steps on how to apply and take advantage of this program. Thank you so much.